What the heck is up, Denny's? Welcome back. Ram Showcase Live, version number 2. Back at it. Last week was an awesome time. I had a great time with everybody hanging out. But let me see here real fast. Copy this bad boy so I can paste it in here. If anybody wants to hop with me, that's absolutely okay. Just click on that link there, and you can hop on for a couple minutes or so. We can chat, about these LA Rams and stuff. There's a few things I kind of wanted to touch on, but of course, this is a conversation intended to be led by the fans. So if there's anything that you would like to talk about, feel free to just go ahead and drop it, and we can have a conversation about it, whether that is you hopping on here or dropping into the comments section like Annette, who did just ask me if I'm back on YouTube. Yeah, officially back onto YouTube in some capacity. It's going to look different than it has before. We have kind of a rollout plan for how Ram Showcase is going to start looking over the next, however many months/years. Kind of in a transition period right now, but we are doing Monday live streams every single Monday all the way through the season, and until the foreseeable future, we'll be rocking these Monday live streams. Different times, it will kind of alter depending on what I've got going on in my life, such as like these being early because I've got stuff going on later, stuff like that. So, back to it officially, but. This is going to continue, like I said, throughout the season. So I'm hoping that like on Mondays we can get like really good conversation about the game that had just happened, or if it's Monday Night Football, we'll kind of just do those will probably be early week 3 against the Bengals. That'll probably happen a little early in the day just to get the conversation in. But yes, back on to the YouTube, as my father would call it. So and then also this stream goes up onto the Ram Showcase Facebook page as well. And you can also find it at ramshowcase.com, which is super cool stuff. It's awesome to have my own website finally. I feel like that's something I kind of just needed to have for a while, and it's here now, which is important. I feel like I don't want to say drug my feet, but I think I just kind of I was like, well, I don't need to do that right now. And I kept on kind of just putting that off of just like, I don't need it right now. I don't need it right now. I don't need it right now. I still didn't need it. I don't even know if I need it right now, but I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Pull the trigger. Let's go. And then, back onto, or officially onto the website world. I don't update it as much as I wish I would. And that's partly because I'm the only person here at Ram Showcase. Well, Carl's here. He's just a cat. I've tried to teach him how to use computers. He's still not good at it, but maybe one day he'll get there. So did want to mention just a few things though. Like I said, so this conversation, like I said, is always for the fans. The podcast of Ram Showcase is very much for me to spill my thoughts out and to just kind of that's me controlling everything that I'm talking about. But here it's just a conversation with the fans. So whatever you would like to discuss, or if you think that something I say is super stupid, which is totally reasonable, you can hop on. We can have a conversation about it. Maybe you think that I'm way too harsh on people like Tutu Atwell or something. But that's the kind of the whole point, is to bring it back and have the conversations instead of just me talking at you. So yes, Annette, back on YouTube. GP Shadow says, how do I feel about bringing back Michelle? That's right, Sony Michelle back in the horns. Absolutely love to see it, man. I think it's cool. Obviously, was a pretty critical part of this team at certain points. So that's awesome to have him back. I'm kind of curious as to see what this would mean. Okay, so there's a lot of things going on in my brain as far as the additions the Rams have made recently, Sony Michelle being one of those, as well as the wide receivers, but we kind of talked about those last time. My only question as far as bringing back Sony Michelle is, does this say anything about Kyren Williams and or Zach Evans? Like, are they maybe not showing enough? Because why do you make this kind of move if you feel confident going into the season with Cam Akers, Kyren Williams, Zach Evans, we also got Ronnie Rivers. So if you don't feel confident in those guys, it makes total sense to add to that group. So that's kind of where my questions come in is, what does this mean for the rest of the guys on the squad? Or is this a way for him to hit a preseason team and hopefully show enough in our preseason that maybe he'll get picked up somewhere else? And the goal is I don't want to say goal, but the plan is all along to maybe release him after the preseason. So I am curious, but I also like Sony Michel, and I hope that he sticks around for a long time, or at least throughout the season, because, I think he's a good player. I think he's got great vision. He's obviously a great blocker, so a third down back because he can block, but he's also got hands. So him on third downs, I think that's an incredible option. But again, we talked about it last week that Cam Akers looking absolutely jacked. So what is it to say? What does it say about him? So that's kind of a curious question that I would pose to everybody else is do you think this says anything about the rest of the running back group? Because we all feel pretty confident that Cam Akers is going to be like the guy, right? So if you're adding to depth outside of that, then you have to. It raises the eyebrows a little bit. You know what I mean? It makes you kind of do oh, what does this mean? Is Kyren Williams not that good? I don't know. Stash. Yeah, Stash, I don't know how long he's here to stay. Maybe forever. Maybe this is just who I am now. Maybe I'm just a guy who has a mustache. I don't know. I take it day by day, dude. We are day by day for sure. Let's see here. Yeah, I hope he's RB3 at best. You hope he's RB3 at best. I hope whoever is best is RB2 and 1 and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care where they fall. I don't care about the name on the back. I care about the name on the weird little patch to the side of the jersey. Either way, man, because I don't care. I really don't care who's playing. I don't want to make any cut decisions based on money. I would rather just see people cut because another guy's better than them. And also as far as depth chart stuff goes, then I think that, I just want the best guys to play. I mean, I have my preferences, but who the hell am I? You know what I mean? I'm just a guy drinking Modelo's talking about the Rams right now. So, why would anybody pay attention to what I'm saying? Except for everybody who's here watching me. I appreciate you. Don't listen to me. Get out of here. What are you doing? It's a bad marketing strategy. I should really look at that. Let's see. Better show up or else. What are you going to do, Joe? Holy crap. AJ. What up, AJ? Says, are the Rams playing to make the playoffs or for the number 1 pick in the next NFL draft? I think that first of all, the Rams are playing for the playoffs because, first of all, the NFC is garbage. I don't think that the Philadelphia Eagles are as good as they were last year. Maybe they will be. Maybe they'll be better. I have no idea. But to say that the Rams are playing for the number 1 overall pick, that's definitely not the case. The Rams are not playing for the number 1 pick. There's nobody on this team that wants to have the number 1 pick. I would be stunned if anybody on this roster was like, no, this season, screw this season, man. Caleb will. I don't think anybody on the roster, in the front office, anybody in the building, I don't think anybody's talking about that because we talked about this last week as well, that, rookies are coin tosses every single time. Caleb Williams is good, and I like Caleb Williams, but let's not pretend just because we all like him at USC that he's guaranteed to be incredible in the NFL. You know what I mean? It might be a better option for us to just take a different path. So I say let's just play this season out. Let's just focus on what the Rams are doing right now. And who cares what Caleb Williams is doing? We can worry about Caleb Williams when it gets to February time. You know what I mean? When we start talking about creeping into the draft and going into that process, that's when we can have Caleb Williams talks. But potentially, what if he sucks this year? And it's oh yeah, why would he go number 1 overall? That guy's a bummer. So who knows? I mean, that's still so far out that I don't know, I'm kind of focused in on this part of it. But if we're looking at what the Rams are shooting for, I don't think there's any reason not to shoot for the playoffs because the AFC or the NFC is kind of lame right now. So I mean, I think it's totally reasonable to say that the Rams can make the postseason. And at that point, who knows? I mean, anything's up for grabs once you hit the postseason. The postseason starts and it's anybody's ball game anymore. Because especially, I mean, these aren't series that we're going into in the playoffs. So it's just one and done and you're good. So if you come in and you just have a good game plan, or maybe you're playing a team that's got beat up during the season, but they kind of slid into the playoffs, there's ways to get it done and to dominate as far as that aspect goes. So there's no reason to right now in June. All right. there's no reason in June to be thinking about next April, thinking that like maybe the Rams will have the number 1 overall pick, because we have a whole season to go. And even if we don't win the Super Bowl, if we don't go to the playoffs, anything like that, there's still incredible things to look out for this year. If we kind of take a peek at this season specifically, we kind of zoom in and out at the same time. You know what I mean? You probably don't know what I mean, because that's a weird sentence. So like to zoom in on this season to say stuff like we can look at like maybe Kobe Durant. Maybe he's like a total breakout this year. Maybe Ernest Jones just shows out and is crazy. Maybe some of our rookies, who knows which one of these guys will pop. Maybe Trey Tomlinson is an absolute monster and a clear-cut, defensive rookie of the year. So we got to look at this stuff first before we start looking at that. And maybe what happens if Matthew Stafford gets hurt and Stet Benatar comes in and is absolutely just crushing souls? And so it's like, oh man, this guy's our quarterback. Like, why the hell would we worry about a quarterback in the draft? We got this guy, man. So, and I know everybody's like, he's so old. He's 25. Like he's fine. Like it's going to be, we could have him for easily the next, 13 years if we wanted to, if he's also that good. So, I mean, 25 is not as crazy as I think people make it out to be. So, Daniel, Chris, welcome in. What's going on? Again, anybody want to hop in? That's absolutely okay. We can have some conversation here. Like I said, though, I do want to make this very fan-centric and make it so we're having conversations that you want to have. Based on last week, though, and it's nothing bad happened or anything, but like based on last week, we're not doing St. Louis talk. All right. It does no good for anybody. Nobody comes out of that in a positive light or in a positive fashion if we're talking about St. Louis. The Rams are no longer there anymore. I respect and love that time. That's the Rams played in St. Louis when I became a fan of them and stuff like that. I live in Colorado, so I don't care where the Rams play their home games. I'm going to try to get to them anyway. So it does matter to me, but that's a conversation that we're just not going to do that anymore because it's pointless now. I mean, what do you want me to say? Like, I don't know. So let's see here. So, oh yeah, the Rams also, this is becoming news every single year, which is, that's cool, I guess. The media world right now, especially when it comes to like fan coverage of like these fan run sites and stuff like that, I feel like it's at an all-time low right now. So there's that part. But the Rams kind of have had some comments about them having the fewest the fewest signed draftees of any team this year. But that's every year. That's become a very standard thing for the LA Rams. Is they've always been one of the last teams to sign their rookies, so that shouldn't really surprise anybody. Daniel does say, watching our O-line, they have to be better. They not only just have to be better, because that's a pretty loose term, Daniel, but they also just got to stay healthy. It was kind of unfortunate that some of our best offensive linemen last year were guys that we signed in the middle of the season. Ty Nsekhe and Matt Skura, those are the two names that really pop out as guys that we like brought in, and then they were just awesome. So especially Nsekhe at left tackle, I don't think he's getting enough credit for like what he did for the late season games. You know what I mean? Because like obviously it wasn't like a playoff push or anything like that, but like the way he was able to perform in those games was incredible, especially going through 4 different quarterbacks. Then we lose 3 of our top 4 wide receivers. And the one that we had at the end of the season wasn't here in the beginning of the season, at Van Jefferson. So we never were at full power last year, not even once. So there's that part of it too, that they just got to be out there, man. Just got to be healthy, got to be playing. The best ability is availability, and you got to just be out on the field at least, So obviously we got Big Rob Havenstein hanging it, just doing his damage at right tackle. And I feel like he's starting to get credit now. And I would like to take a little bit of credit for that in like making the push of like, hey, we need to talk about this guy more because he's doing an incredible job over there. But it's good to see. I don't want to be like he's only getting credit because of me or anything, but it's good to see that he's actually getting a little bit more love now from fans and other websites and stuff like that. But I feel like I was one of the first ones. I maybe wasn't. Maybe I heard it from somebody else and I kind of piggybacked it without even knowing. But Rob Havenstein over there. And then as long as we can get some health, like I said, it looks like we might get Coleman Shelton starting at center, which really excites me. I'm a big Coleman Shelton fan. I like him better than Brian Allen. I don't hate Brian Allen, but if I was putting my own depth chart together, it would be Shelton for sure. So, health, man, health. I'm just gonna kind of keep pointing to that as far as that topic goes. So. I believe this season will show McVay's genius. Last season didn't feel like a McVay season, and so I think that I absolutely agree with you, AJ. First of all, but I will say that like last year, because of the injuries, it felt like at no point we were having like those real classic Sean McVay game plans, because I don't know if we could, like especially when you lose Stafford and then you lose Kupp. And then obviously just the entire mess on the offensive line. Whoever was playing quarterback didn't have a lot of time back there. We had the Wolf Au and then Hercules. They just weren't able to get it done. I don't know if they were really given a fair shake at anything, but then obviously Baker Mayfield comes in and Baker gonna bake and had a few interesting games for the Rams. So it kind of worked out there. Daniel is very upset that we didn't get rid of Morris. I'm kind of in the middle of the road here. I definitely think that I definitely have my preference on defensive styles, and Morris doesn't fit that. But I will say for a continuity thing, especially with the youth that we now have on that side of the football, losing veterans like Jalen Ramsey and Bobby Wagner, I like that we kept the same scheme, because now we have guys like Ernest Jones who have been sitting in this defense for a while, and Jordan Fuller who have been in this defense for a while, and of course Aaron Donald, who now can just kind of relay that information to these young guys without needing to learn a new defense themselves. So for that reason, I'm totally okay with this, even though I have my own preferences. Also, there's the aspect of Aubrey Pleasant, who I am a massive fan of. I might be the biggest Aubrey Pleasant fan like on the planet. I think this guy's an absolutely incredible coach. So to have him back, I think is incredible. And we learned from the first Behind the Grind episode that the reason that he even came back was because Raheem Morris is still here. So for that reason, I'm also okay with it. And then you also have to consider that when you have so many superstars in different spots, like a Jalen Ramsey, like a Bobby Wagner, that your defensive scheme might take a few more liberties in that sense, in trusting these guys to just be able to get it done. So because we have lost a lot of those guys, I think that having an experienced defensive coordinator, he knows what he's doing. You know what I mean? Like, he's not a bad coach by any means. He's a great dude. He's a good coach. I mean, there's not a whole lot to complain about. It's just his style. I wish it was a little bit more aggressive, but other than that, it's hard to pick on anything. But when you're sitting on 3rd and 2 and your receiver or your DBs are 10 yards off, it's like, dude, it's like you're just gonna run slants on us all day, and then they do, and then they give up first and stuff and whatever. But Aubrey is everything. Aubrey Pleasant is such an awesome coach, and Aubrey Pleasant is the reason that I'm excited about some of these young defensive backs that we have. Like the fact that like Trey Tomlinson and Kobe Durant and Darian Kendrick and Sean Jolly, that these guys get to now be coached by Aubrey Pleasant, excites me to no end. That to me is incredible. I think that our DBs and our corners specifically, especially the youth that we have in that group, I think that grouping will be better than anybody anticipates, simply because Aubrey Pleasant is their coach. That guy is an incredible coach. I think he's underrated. And I absolutely would not hate one bit if Raheem Morris ended up, maybe he gets a head coaching job next year. If the Rams just took Aubrey Pleasant and gave him that DC job next year, I would absolutely be thrilled, because again, I am a massive Aubrey Pleasant fan. I don't think he gets nearly enough credit. I don't know what the heck happened out in Detroit with Aubrey Pleasant, and then in Green Bay with Aubrey Pleasant. I have no idea what was going on out there, but I know that every time that he's been on this Rams coaching staff, he's done an unbelievable job. So I'm absolutely pumped to have him back. Yeah, my problem is our secondary played wide receivers, bend, don't break. Doesn't work if you give up 50 completions underneath. I absolutely agree. 100% agree. But then also we have those comments coming out from guys that said that it was basically their choice, that it was their choice whether they wanted to press or be off. And then in my brain immediately, so I don't admit that. because now we're just going to point the finger at you. Like, dude, you're doing a bad job now. It's not the coach isn't putting you in a bad position. You're putting you in a bad position. What are you doing? Get it together. So, yeah, that was a weird thing. But yeah, that's of course what we all don't like. None of us like to see that. So it's unfortunate, but I mean, whatevs, man. It's one of those weird things where I'd like to see. I could probably find it. It's probably actually is not that hard to find. Of like how many first downs the Rams gave up compared to how many touchdowns they gave up, and where both of those numbers sit as far as NFL rankings, because the Rams did get real tight in the red zone. Had a pretty strong red zone defense, especially late in the season. So there's that part of it too. But I really don't like the bend but pick. I'd rather be aggressive and force turnovers. You know, it's also there's something to be said there too. It was like that just hurt the team in general, because then we were always getting the ball 25 or whatever for touchbacks and all that stuff. But if you can force a few turnovers and you can give Stafford and Kupp the ball, you know, at the opposing 40, then you're looking a lot better. So there's all those things that go into it, and it's like, yeah, that's awesome and stuff like that we don't bend, you know, or we're not breaking when we get to the red zone, but we're still giving up 3 and then a kickoff. It's like we need turnovers though, you know, and let those guys, let Durant and Jones and these guys attack and be aggressive and go after the ball. So there's that part too. And AJ's question here: do you believe the Rams will make a big in-season acquisition, or will this be a roll with what we got type of season? I do anticipate that this will be more of a roll with what we got type of season, barring any kind of injuries, and then we could see maybe some splashy additions. But I think that this is very much like not to say a tankier or anything like that, because I don't believe that that's anything that the Rams would be doing, but very much a season in which the Rams are like, let's see who we got. Let's check out these young guys. Let's get them reps and see who sticks out. I think this is an evaluation season for the Rams, and in a sweet way too, because the way that this roster is set up right now, this is the perfect season to just go ahead and be like, all right, let's just go ahead and see what we got, see who we need to keep. And then next year we have so much cap space. So then it's like we can do the same exact thing that we just did that got us a ring, 2 Super Bowl appearances and a ring. We're in a position where we could start that process again this next season. So that's pretty exciting stuff that we could just – if we take 2 bummer years and then back at being super sick, I mean – maybe I'm wrong here, but that is awesome, and I got no complaints about that. So I know some Rams fans like no season should be like a loss. No season, they're like we got to be going for a ring every single. That's not realistic. It's just not. You got 31 other fan bases and other teams that are trying to do the same exact thing as you are every single year. Sometimes you got to take a little bit of a zoom out, take a step back, and look at the big picture of stuff instead of just focusing on just this season and how can the Rams win the Super Bowl this season. It's like you got to kind of zoom out and be like, all right, well, what about next year, the year after that, the year after that? How can we put ourselves in position to be, you know, going to Super Bowl in 3-4 years from now instead of just attacking this season, because that doesn't always work. And as the Buffalo Bills don't always work, huh? Not everybody can be the LA Rams where you just hit big and go hard and it work out for you. Sometimes you're the Buffalo Bills and you have the most loaded team in the universe and then still come short. So that Brady comeback last season was a perfect example and that game ended our season. First of all, we won 5 games last year. I don't think that any one game cost us our season or anything. It was week 1 was like, this is not our year. There was that Thursday night opener. It was like, this is not going to be it. 31-10 against the Bills at home, like a banner day. And no, that was when I was like, all right, well, this isn't it. And then everybody started getting hurt. So I will say that. I just don't think it was definitely not one game. So Rams will be the surprise NFC team to make the Super Bowl. Won't win it, but we will be there. Mark my words. Feel free to screenshot this one as I take a drink. Hope you got that. I really don't I don't think it's outside of the realm of possibilities. And also, what the heck is going on with all of a sudden now Rams fans are the least confident in Rams? Like, what happened? Like, we used to go into every single season with like all the confidence in the world, which was hilarious. But at the same time, you kind of do that as a fan base, right? And then this is the season that I feel like Rams fans were like, sure, we're going to be terrible. Number 1 overall pick, here we come. And then now the media is like, but Tutu Atwell might break out. Ernest Jones is probably going to break out. We got Kobe Durant who's a breakout candidate. And now all like media is like, no, but the Rams, watch out for the Rams. And it's like, hold on. What the hell happened here, man? It's like, weren't we supposed to be terrible? What's going on? Pick a side, media. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's very possible the Rams can do it, and especially in this weak-ass NFC, man. And nobody in the NFC is worth a damn outside of Philadelphia. And there's something about Nick Sirianni. There's still something there that I don't know, man. At least he's not as bad as Gannon. Pew, pew. That's good stuff. Toby, I'm doing awesome, man. Good to hear from you. Will the Rams be introducing a new logo? I only ask based off the logo, which was represented during the NFL draft, which was more representative, in my opinion, of what most Rams fans are accustomed to. If you haven't seen that, check it out. Okay, so yeah, I'll talk about this for a second, AJ. What as far as introducing a new logo? No, not for the foreseeable future. There is nothing pending right now as far as updated logos. What we have right now is our branding and will stick around for the foreseeable future. What you saw in the NFL draft and what a lot of Rams fans were very complimentary of, they did that for every team. And every single team had a very dramatic, very detailed, very obnoxious version of a logo. It was just a draft logo. There's nothing to be said about that becoming anything official or anything like that. Every other team had one. So I'd actually say, because you asked me if I saw it, obviously I checked it out. I've definitely seen that. Check out some of the other ones, man, because there were some very interesting ones. I thought the Colts one was the best, but it's obviously not their logo, not going to be their logo, anything like that. But every single team had one. They did that for every team. It wasn't just the Rams. It just I think that the Rams fan base specifically just hates what we have right now, and they're just excited to upgrade. So there's that part of it. Whatever. It's the logo. The logo's the logo, man. I don't know. It's what represents the Rams, and I love the Rams. So if that's the logo, then it's the logo. Let's go Rams. I care so much less about that part of it also, and I realize that I am in the minority in that part. It's like it's branding's branding, whatever. That's cool. Like, but no, that's not going to become anything official. I don't know. My own little like wink here, which is actually, there's so many things that I could point to. I could go down a rabbit hole here of navy blue being involved in this current color scheme. We haven't seen it publicly yet, but if you do dig your way through the back workings of the Rams website, pages that are not just like available, you got to type in specific URLs. And I'll tell you, it's therams.com/media. That's not a page that you can find when you're just clicking around on the website. But if you go to that, start digging around and stuff, you actually see the Rams do have an official navy in their color scheme right now, but it hasn't been used on really anything. It's also a different navy than the old navy color. It's a different color code and everything. So it's not just a mistake of they missed removing that or anything like that. And they do have logos where it is the navy blue with like the yellow LA Rams word mark and stuff like that. It is officially on there. Oh, I missed one here. I'll get back to you, silly fun guy. Best name on YouTube. Joe, we breaking that 9 losing streak this year? Dude, hell yeah, we are. They have no quarterbacks. They've got 3 quarterbacks, and none of them are like, who are any of them? Brock Purdy, we can definitely have that conversation, and I'm willing to accept that he did a good job, but who knows? Who knows? You know what I mean? Trey Lance, he looked terrible when he was playing. I know we only got a very short, little brief part of him, but he didn't look very good. And then with Sam Darnold, we know Sam Darnold is. You know what I mean? Like, he would look better in Shanahan's offense than he has, I think, in the past, because Shanahan's offense is extremely quarterback friendly. So most guys will look pretty decent under a Shanahan offense, kind of like a McVay offense. I'll give him that, but there's that part of it too. So. Yeah, I think we're going to beat the 49ers this year. Maybe I don't want to say that we'll definitely sweep them or anything like that, but I don't feel a lot of confidence in the 49ers this year, actually. I feel like they're I don't know. They're in a weird period right now, and especially losing Jimmy, that's kind of just weird. Rams 11-6 in 2023. Not the first or last time I will predict it. Hell yeah, silly fun guy. Best name on YouTube. predicting the 11-6 record. That's about where I've got the Rams. I'm actually going 10-7. I think that there's going to be like one or two games where we feel like looking back, we will look back and be like, we really should have won that game, but we won't. You know what I mean? And I think it's going to be youth. I think it's going to be a youth issue. Like someone's going to blow a coverage or something like that. It's going to be like an untimely dropped pass by like Skoranek or something like that. That's just going to be like ultimately the downfall there. Sheriff, gosh darn bags. Joe. Oh, I missed the whole my name in that. What's up, Boy Green? You want to hop on, man? You can hop on here. I'll give you this. Feel free, dude. Whoa, what am I doing over here? You can if you want. No pressure or anything like that. But yeah. Live. Rams house at. I don't know what you're trying to say. I feel like he's trying to tell me something. What are realistic expectations? Are y'all competing, or is this going to be a dumpster fire of a season? First time caller, long time listener. This isn't a call, Paul. Realistic expectations. I feel like the Rams will be sitting as far as like I think that the Rams will be bouncing around 500 most of the year. So let me get back to the schedule here. Oh, I already got it up. Nice. Look at me just studying this thing. Like I'm just like in my time off, just like. I was actually looking because we have a concert for my work. It's like a big concert for us. It's the same day as the Cowboys game, so I was trying to make sure that it's not a night game and that I'm actually be able to go, stuff like that. So it's like, I mean, we start at Seattle and then at home against San Fran. Like I feel like that'll be a split in some capacity, but also, I mean, Seattle. Who knows about Seattle? They were decent last year, but is that going to continue? I have no idea. San Francisco 49ers, there's so many question marks involving that quarterback situation, so I don't absolutely know. But they're obviously a pretty stacked team. They're pretty loaded and stuff like that. So then at the Cincinnati Bengals, Week 3, Monday Night Football, that'll be a fun one. Just a little bit of a Super Bowl rematch. Most of the team is kind of not the same that it was, but when you get like Stafford versus Burrow again, so like that'll be the storyline, which will be fun. And the Colts, who I feel like the Rams should be able to beat, that'll only be Richardson's 4th game in the NFL, so he'll still be kind of young, and he's got Aaron Donald coming after his soul, so that's good. Philadelphia Eagles, obviously the NFC team right now, so that'll be a tough one. The Arizona Cardinals, who might be the 2023 Arizona Cardinals, might be the worst NFL team of all time. Like a single season NFL team. This might be the worst we've ever seen. And yes, I'm talking about all those Browns teams. And yes, I'm talking about the Houston Texans and all their terrible seasons. And even those Tampa Bay Buccaneers, their first year. Yes, I'm talking about all those teams. This Arizona Cardinals team is a disaster. They've got nothing good going on for them right now. They've got ridiculous head coach. They got a quarterback who doesn't even care about this sport. They lost their best receiver. Their best defensive player retired. Buda Baker wants out. What even is going on out there? They're a disaster. If we don't sweep the Cardinals, then we're a disaster, and that's not good. You don't want to have that. Pittsburgh Steelers after that, that's an interesting game. I think George Pickens is in a spot for a breakout, so that'll be something to watch out for. Who's going to be covering him and all that stuff. But again, that is kind of deeper into the season as it's week 7. So by that time, we'll have a better understanding of who they are, who we are, because this is about the time, because that game is on October 22nd. That's about the time of year where you start to kind of understand who you are and who everybody else is. So it does take until about that time. So, and then, of course, week 8, the Dallas Cowboys. That's always kind of a toss-up. Those are usually good games, but I remember, 2017? It was the Cowboys game that made me realize that like this Rams team was actually pretty decent. We looked ridiculous. We had the dark blue jerseys with the white horned helmets and all that stuff. So we looked absurd, but that was like the first game where it was like, we might actually be a pretty good team. And then let's see here. Then after Green Bay Packers, it did fall in November, but it's early November. Probably won't be that cold. So, and then who knows what Jordan Love is. But by this time, by November time, we should have an understanding of who Jordan Love is. Seattle again. We already talked about them. At Arizona, we already talked about them. At the Cleveland Browns, Rams should win that game. Or no, it's at home. Sorry. Rams should win that game home against the Cleveland Browns, but there's a lot of conversations that, Deshaun Watson might that he should be a lot better this year. So we'll see about that. At the Baltimore Ravens, they're such a wild card of like a team. Like not saying like a playoff kind of sense, but like I never know week to week what kind of Baltimore Ravens team is going to show up. Like you might show up and Lamar Jackson is going to like just posterize you and make you look like an absolute fool out there, or you're just going to kind of roll over them. Last time we played the Ravens though was Monday Night Football. I think that was at the Coliseum. Is that right? But it was like 45-7. Absolutely got wrecked. The Ravens just beat the crap out of the Rams. So got to get a little bit of payback here late season. As that's the Rams' second game of December. Washington Commanders. Progress is being made out there with Dan Snyder being getting the boot. Yeah, it was at the Coliseum. Yeah, Coliseum. Not a good day. Not a good day. I've got the flag and the pin, the game pin up. But damn. What a bummer of a game that was, man. And then Saints, they're kind of a toss-up right now. New coaching coming in. And obviously Derek Carr. Is Mike Thomas going to be playing? So that'll be kind of interesting. Giants, they feel so average to me. They feel like a 500 team, so that's kind of a toss-up as well. And then ending the season at the San Francisco 49ers. So, yeah, I really do feel, Paul, that the Rams will kind of have a bit of a back-and-forth season as far as that goes. And I feel like the Rams will be sitting about 500 most of the year. But I do think that there's going to be stretches in there where, like, there's just some cool stuff happening. Maybe Kobe Durant is, getting a pick six at the right time against the right team. Maybe that's the Ravens or something like that. And just kind of closing it out and helping the Rams get a big fat dub in the right spot. So, yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling as far as like realistic expectations. I feel like it's going to be one of those where it's every game's going to be a battle, and we'll see what the Rams are able to pull out. Who wants it more, I think, is what really comes down to a lot of these games. And last year, it just it fell apart. It got away from us pretty early. Like I said, week one, it was kind of like, oof, all right, this is not going to be it. Like, I don't know if I really talked about that on the show and stuff like that. Sometimes I keep those opinions to myself. But yeah, it was one of those where it's like driving home that night, it was like, this is not going to be so much for run it back. We were only 0-1, but it was like, this is not going to be it. Just the way we looked, it was like, just not it. Silly Fun Guy, best name on YouTube, says Stafford was handicapped last year by the O-line and didn't have a blitz pickup RB. Absolutely true. That should be different this year, and the Rams can have a shootout with anyone, in my opinion. The offense is not my concern. As long as the Rams' offensive line and offense in general is able to stay healthy. Again, I know we talk about it all the time, but we had guys that we were signing mid-season starting on the offensive line. By the time the season ended, lost 3 of our top 4 wide receivers, and the one that we still had at the end of the season was not there at the beginning of the season in Van Jefferson. We went through 4 different quarterbacks. You cannot win games that way. That's just not the case. Nobody is that deep. No NFL team is deep enough to have 4 quarterbacks come in and still be a playoff team. You're not that deep. Nobody is. So for the Rams to win 5 games last year, it was like, all right, that's actually not terrible. All things considered, not terrible. So yeah, I absolutely agree. Stafford was handicapped behind that offensive line. You got to be able to pick up the blitz. That's a big reason why I think Sony Michel has been brought in. And then also just stay healthy. The best ability is availability. Just got to be out on the field. I think I'm giving people PTSD from this Ravens game, though, in the comment section. Damn. Oh, no, man. Oh, no. That's hilarious. Johnny, I have follow-up questions for you, Johnny. Cooper Kupp is an underrated receiver. What makes you say that he's underrated? He was a Triple Crown Super Bowl MVP like 2 years ago. I feel like maybe he just has never gotten enough credit, ever. But at the same time, I don't know if he's underrated anymore. I'll say maybe he was entering that season, because we even talked about it here a lot that he was just getting hurt too much, and that kind of stopped. So I do have follow-up questions for you, Johnny. Feel free to jump on. By the way, I've posted the link, the join link, if you want to maybe clarify what you're what you're talking about here. Payo, what's going on, man? AJ with a question: how many more seasons do you believe we will have AD? Will he finish as a Ram, or would he dare put the team out as trade bait? That's interesting, man. I'm not entirely sure how many more seasons we'll get Aaron Donald, but I would say that if he does leave and end his career somewhere else, I would guess that would be the Steelers, simply just because of his Pittsburgh ties. I think it would be kind of cool for him, honestly. Not to say that I want Aaron Donald to leave in any capacity, but that I absolutely I could see that happening at least. Johnny, I almost saw you pop up there, man. If you do want to hop on, man, just feel free. So I want to ask you directly, like, what the heck you mean by that? Talk me through your thoughts on the safety situation. Should Russ Yeast get more love? That is a really good question right there, Peo. I actually love that. I do think that that Russ Yeast should get a little bit more love. Where are we at? I'm trying to think here. So Russ Yeast could be getting a lot of playing time for sure. I think Quentin Lake is going to be the one that that plays next to Jordan Fuller, though. So the safety position, obviously, like many positions on the Rams defense, is an unproven position right now, and we don't really know who's going to take that leap this year. So that's actually, again, part of the reason why I'm excited is because it's just I like going into the season not just knowing who's super sick, like knowing that like Trey Tomlinson could come in week one and we could all like leave week one being like, yo, Trey Tomlinson was such a hit in this draft, or like something like that. You know what I mean? Like that is like that's so exciting to me that that's going to be the case. And the same thing at the safety position. Is it going to be Lake? Is it going to be Yeast? You know, like just who knows? And that's exciting. I'm really interested for preseason too, because we get to take a peek at our depth, and this is kind of the first time going into the preseason that like a good chunk of jobs are open, and we are going to see a lot of guys play in preseason. Not everybody. We're not going to see Stafford, Kupp, Jefferson, probably Higbee, Havenstein, Donald, Fuller. You know, like we're not going to see a good chunk of guys in the preseason, but at the same time, man, it's exciting to go in not just knowing what everybody's going to be doing this year. He doesn't seem to get the recognition from the media. I mean, I guess that's fair, Johnny. But I don't know. Maybe it's just my perspective, because I look at the world through like very much royal and soul colored glasses. So like I see everything like from the Rams perspective, and from the Rams perspective, he's one of the greatest that we have right now. Like it's Aaron Donald on defense and Cooper Kupp on offense, and that is it. Like those are our guys. You know what I mean? Like so for like your perspective of being a Bengals fan, like I mean, there's a few guys you could put on the defensive side for sure. That's a good team. I don't even know who would you put as like a Chase, I would guess, as far as like your offensive comp on that, as far as like just like your sickest offensive player. But yeah, man, that's what, hop on, dude. You can do the thing. We can have the conversation. But yeah, it's I mean, yeah, I guess from certain aspects of it and different media outlets and stuff like that, it is he doesn't get all the credit. Kupp is what's up. Yeah, Johnny. Kupp doesn't need recognition. We all know he's the best. I mean, that's kind of a good point too. He's also not very flashy. He's not a jerkwad. He's not making headlines. He's not a very, like from a national media perspective, he's not a very exciting and interesting player. Simply because he doesn't do anything crazy. He just had another kid. Like he just comes to work. He works hard, scores a bunch of tuds, breaks a bunch of ankles, and he goes home to his family and stuff. So it's like, I don't know, man. It's maybe that's all it is. Maybe it's just he's just not exciting enough. He doesn't give you a lot of headlines. He doesn't give you a lot of talking points. It's just Cooper Kupp is there to play ball, and like he's got not to the same level as Nikola Jokic, but like that same like I'm here to work, like he's got that, but also at the same on the flip side of that, like what I think he's got opposite of Jokic is that the fact that he just loves the game. Like I don't even think Nikola Jokic likes basketball, and that's the funny part to me. I don't even think he cares. I know he doesn't care, and I think it's hilarious. Absolutely love it. He just like comes in and crushes everybody. he's like, yeah, whatever. So can I get home though? So funny. Silly fun guy, best name on YouTube. Rams safeties look like they have a lot of potential this year, but I am worried there isn't a veteran like Weddle in the room. There is a veteran in the room. Not like Weddle, of course, but Jordan Fuller, man. He's a clear-cut leader in that grouping, clear-cut leader in the entire secondaries grouping. He's been voted captain before. Wouldn't be surprised if that happens again, but also would anticipate that maybe Ernest Jones gets that role simply because of his fire that he came in with this year. That if we're looking at today, who I think the team would vote for, because that's how the Rams do their captains, it's definitely between Fuller and Jones. And not to say that Donald's not captain worthy or anything. He's not calling out stuff. So as far as like green dotting, that's what I'm talking about, like mainly the green dot. It's going to be Jordan Fuller or Ernest Jones for sure. But yeah, I feel like I know that wasn't a shot at Jordan Fuller, but I don't know if Jordan Fuller gets enough credit, actually. I think Jordan Fuller might be underrated. Or maybe I value him too high. I don't know. But I think Jordan Fuller is incredible. I think he's such an awesome safety. I don't think he gets nearly enough credit. It's not letting you join the stream. I saw you pop up for like just a second, but it said the devices weren't connected. So I don't know. Maybe it's a weird thing. See top NFL wide receivers listen on social media all the time. That's your first mistake, man. You're looking at social media. Social media is not real. All right. I've actually got Johnny here. So I would like to give a sick intro to somebody. I don't know anything about Johnny, so we're going to pop him in here right now. And dude, what's going on, man? Hi, I'm Joe.
Hey, I'm Johnny.
Johnny, good to meet you, man. Dude, tell me a little bit about yourself, man. Where you at? Where are you from?
So I'm from Missouri, actually. Nice. But we moved to Colorado like when I was like 5.
You're in Colorado now?
Yeah.
What part?
The Springs, Colorado Springs.
That's where I live. That's awesome.
Oh, really?
I'm in Fountain right now. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm actually Ram's house brother. So I don't
know.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so funny. I had no idea. That's hilarious.
Really?
Man.
Yeah, no, we watch your videos sometimes. It's cool.
Dude, I love that. Makes total sense. You totally look like him too. That's funny.
Really?
We'll put that together. Yeah.
He's better looking though, so just
Well, hey, blue and yellow makes everybody look amazing.
There you go. Yeah. But yeah, what I was basically saying is like I agree with you in Rams fans' eyes that Cooper Kupp is not underrated at all. And I've had like the privilege to like watch him through. David's shown me a few things, what he does, and I've been able to watch a lot of Rams games because he's a fan. And so I really like how he plays, but I think he's not flashy, and people like flashy people, and people like to talk about flashy people. And that's where I was saying he's underrated, because like in terms of like social media analysts and stuff, they just don't talk about him enough, in my opinion.
That totally makes sense. Yeah. When you look at the perspective of just like attention and stuff like that, you got like the things that go on with like Stephon Diggs and all this stuff. Like he doesn't get any storylines. He's not entertaining in that way. He's entertaining on the football field, but he's not entertaining in like a headline kind of way. So from that perspective, I guess that would totally make sense. But from like a different fan perspective, like take us back to like the Super Bowl time, when going into that game, what were your thoughts like having your team go against Cooper Kupp? Like what was going through your mind there?
I was so scared because like you also had Odell, which I love Odell as well, but Cooper Kupp, he's definitely the offense. It just runs through him, and whenever he touches the ball, good things happen. So I was really scared, honestly, and it was not fun to see. It was fun and not fun to see everything that happened, but yeah, it was scary.
I get that. Yeah, from just a football fan perspective, it's cool to just watch cool stuff happen, but when it's going against your team, it sucks.
Yeah, I was working at Domino's Pizza, and so I was watching the first half, on my phone, and then I watched the second half like in the house. And Rams house and I were in different rooms because we just couldn't be like rooting for it against each other, at the same time. But
that's fair. Yeah, I got a Packers fan friend, and I went to the game with him in this last one in December. So that was okay because we're like at Lambeau together and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But when the Rams play each other, I try not to watch with him.
Nice.
Like we're just gonna annoy each other. It's not gonna be good. And then one of us is gonna ice each other. Do you know what icing is? I don't know how old you are.
I don't know actually. I'm 22, but
okay.
I know what it means in a different setting. I don't know what you're talking about though.
It's like the Smirnoff Ice. Then you gotta you gotta get on one knee and chug it, and then it's gonna happen to somebody. He's becoming a dad though, so maybe not. I don't know.
Maybe not. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. So again, I'm just gonna kind of pick your brain here for just a couple minutes. So again, from the outsider perspective, and what the Rams have gone through this offseason, what kind of, from the outside looking in, what do you think the Rams are looking like this year? Like, what are your expectations?
Honestly, it's kind of tough. I think they're going to do better than this last year. I think this last year, everything happened. Everything that could go wrong just went wrong for you guys. Like, injuries piled up. Like, there were so many injuries you guys had. Yeah. And so you guys obviously didn't end the way you wanted to. But I think you're obviously kind of in a rebuild right now. But you held on to some key players. And so I think, I always like Sean McVay. I think he can always make any team good. So I'm excited to see what you guys do. I just hope that you guys don't get the injury bug. Because if you don't get that, I think I'm trying to remember what I predicted your guys' record to be. I think you could probably get like above 8 wins, I think.
I think it's reasonable to say that, honestly. And you're right. I mean, it is kind of like a rebuild-ish kind of vibe to it this year. But
yeah,
I would say that like you mentioned, with being able to keep some of those superstars, it's almost cliche, but I feel like this is more, instead of a rebuild, this is more of a remodel. It's like we got to take out the bathroom and put a new one in, kind of thing, real quick. And it's going to look ugly for a little bit, but on the other side of it, it's going to be real nice. So sometimes you gotta make those big decisions, which is there was a lot of hard decisions. I know your brother, obviously, big fan of one specific player who is now gone, and he's just got his jersey today. Do you have it? Can you show me his jersey?
I don't know where it is right now, but no, I did see it already today, and it looks clean though. Like that Jalen Ramsey with the 5, like I think the 5 looks better than the 20. Personally, it's sleek.
Yeah, so now we'll see what Tutu Atwell does to that number this year.
Oh no,
he ruins it.
He could be. He shows a lot of flashes. I don't know, but
I mean, define a lot. He's had like 2 good plays, I think.
Yeah, I mean they're really big though. So,
I mean, yeah, that's fair. And it was kind of funny. I put out a video titled. The title of the video was "Rams wide receiver Tutu Atwell is a bust," and then that same week he scores like a 70-yard play. I was like, all right.
He watched the video. He's like, come on.
Yeah, it's like, all right, that's cool. Yeah, but maybe that's what I need to do though. Maybe I just need to put out every single week. I need to put out a video about how terrible Tutu is. And then
I like that.
Hell yeah. Hey Johnny, well, hey, thanks for clarifying a little bit about your Cooper Kupp comment there, because it was kind of like, wait a second, Cooper Kupp, incredible, and we all know that here. So appreciate that, man. So. Dude, thanks again for hopping on. Feel free to join in and kind of butt in whenever you want, but I'm going to kind of keep moving down the list here and tell Rams House I said, give him a high five for me. How about that?
I bet. Thanks for having me on. And again, Cooper Kupp's an animal. I don't think anything less of him. He's great, but thanks for having me.
Dude, awesome. Johnny, good to meet you. Good to talk to you, man. I'm sure we'll talk soon, all right?
All right, man. Take care.
Later. All right, that was awesome. If anybody else wants to hop on as well, feel free just to go ahead and click the link that I have posted. I'll do it again here for you if you would like to hop on and have a chat as well. But we'll keep scrolling here, going through some comments. Yeah, Kupp is about family and Ramley, and he just wants to kick all the butt cheeks on the football field and then just go home and love his family. And there's nothing exciting about that from a media perspective. So. Question for Peo time. If you were given Rams season tickets, but you had to wear a Jeff Fisher costume. Okay, first of all, absolutely. I already have the mustache, so I'm already decently close. Just need to do a little bit weird things with the hair because I don't know what's happening here. It's getting kind of long. This is the longest I think my hair's ever been. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I would do it. I would wear the Jeff Fisher costume. I've got a Rams polo, but it is bone gray. He wasn't here for the rebrand, just for the reload. So yeah, I'd do it. Anything to get season tickets on. Well, not anything to get season tickets. I would do a lot of sketchy stuff to get Rams season tickets. That's for sure. I didn't know this. Okay, stop. No attacks, Peo. Oh, that's funny. Maybe order pizza and Johnny deliver. Maybe, dude. What if? What if? Who knows, man? Who knows? Yeah. They also, in fairness, okay, without like giving up details about like where anybody's at or anything like that. I am not in their part of town. I live in Fountain, Colorado, home of Morgan Fox. Also Vincent Jackson. Yeah, but yeah, they would, if he was delivering out here, probably be cold by the time it gets here, which is not cool. And I'd be very surprised if their reach came out here. Cup was healthy when we played the Patriots in that Super Bowl. The outcome would have been different. AJ, I 100% agree with this, man. I absolutely agree with this. Like, Cup being available in that Super Bowl would have been a game changer for sure. I've seen Vince on Twitter. He's been posting a lot of stuff. He's the one that does what are they called? Amaze Them, I think is the pin name, the company name. They're awesome stuff. I've bought a few things from there. He does giveaways and stuff like that. Great dude. But he talks about that of like if like Woods, OBJ, and Cup were all available in the Super Bowl against the Bengals, like would we just absolutely crushed them? It's like, yeah, probably. But I agree that way with Cup against us in the Super Bowl against the Bengals. And Cup is the best NFL receiver. Dude, he is absolutely in that conversation. But like I feel like it changes every week. Like when we talk about like the best player at a certain position, it's probably different week to week. But Cup is absolutely in that conversation, and he's got games where he just makes people look silly out there, which is absolutely awesome. But the Bengals knew the ball was coming to him on that last drive. He made several catches on the drive. Dude, absolutely. And the same thing can be said about Cup in the game against the Bucks just 2 weeks earlier, that they knew the ball was going to him. And even the 49ers had to know the ball was going to him. And still, like, in fairness, though, there was some throws made by Stafford that you're like, okay. Like, so we'll go back to the Bucks game. The one where Cup was lined up on the left side, hit a little bit of it was kind of like a corner out-ish kind of route or whatever. I'm not like a analyst guy, but that route there, the move that he put out was just kind of filthy, ended up being wide open. And then the very next play, he kind of talked about it. I love the conversation of him talking about it because it's so funny and it's crazy to think too that like how fast Stafford and Cup's brains work together in that kind of setting. That deep ball to Cooper Kupp against the Bucks, it was split-second decisions, and Kupp wasn't even supposed to run deep, but the way that he started his route and noticed where people were running, he just decided to hit it. And Stafford's like, hell yeah. So it's like stuff like that is unbelievable to me. And so I don't know, just they had to know the ball was going to Kupp. And then you get that play against the 49ers where he kind of like crazy pass. And it was so close to being deflected. Kupp ends up getting it. And it was like the first time we saw like true emotion out of Kupp too. Like the first time ever that we saw like real emotion out of Cooper Kupp. He gets up and just yells. And like at that point too, it was like, oh hell yeah. it's like not only are we winning this game, we're winning the Super Bowl, man. Like it was just like I had all the confidence in the world after that. So that was pretty fun stuff. And then in the Super Bowl, yeah, you're right. Like it's like they knew the ball was going to them and still just couldn't stop it. It was awesome. Yeah, and then there was that one because the penalty was a penalty, and then I know that maybe Johnny would have had a comment about this as well, but there's obviously like it's like they wanted to talk about that holding call or whatever, but it's like Jalen Ramsey can get ripped down by his face mask and whatever. Have you been to a Rams 49ers game yet? I have not been to a Rams 49ers game yet. I would like to. I would absolutely like to be at SoFi for a Rams 49ers game for sure. I'd never want to be inside Levi's Stadium. Just feel gross out of there, you know. take a shower. But I've not. I would like to this year. I'm hoping to make it to the Seahawks game. That is the goal. Question from Peo here. Not that we are many years removed from the St. Louis days, but how do you feel the state of the Ram League is? I don't know what you mean by this question, Peo. And I know you can't really hop on right now. Do you mean how do you feel the state of the Ram League in St. Louis? Because I have no idea. I thought most of them left as far as like fandom goes. Yeah, I have no idea. Hell yeah, Johnny. Johnny's gonna bring me a pizza. Let's see here. Edwin, what up, Edwin? Dude, I love this hat that's in your photo. It's badass, dude. Hell yeah. 6 shirts. If you would like to grab yours, ramshowcase.com. You can snag them there. Edwin does have one. Edwin, if you ever want to hop on the stream, hit that link, man. Hop on. Let's have a chat, dude. There's a way the Rams get all the wins this year and draft Caleb Williams. That's yo, we just got a new Behind the Grinds trailer for episode 3. It's a real time. Hell yeah, can't wait. That Behind the Grind is so sick. I want to be part of the team makes that so bad. If you can hear me. ETG, you can hear me. Let me work for you, man. Let me work. Is Tavon Austin versus the Colts the best single game effort you have ever seen from one player in Rams history? There's a few that come to mind immediately. So let's take a second here. Let's take my own brain, a little bit of a memory path here. Let's go back in time. So 2004, Seahawks at Rams. Torrey Holt had a damn good day. Trying to think here. Trying to think of those performances that you're just like, holy crap! Like this guy's amazing. 2009 Rams Lions Steven Jackson. That to me is one of my all-time favorite performances from a Rams player. The Rams don't win that game without Steven Jackson. The Rams don't. If they don't win that game, they also go winless. So that's cool. Steven Jackson was the reason the Rams didn't lose every single game in 2009. Let's see here. 2010, Billy Badgless. Billy Badgless caught 2 touchdowns in Denver. That was pretty cool. Let's see. We had Robert Quinn against the Colts that one year where he had the game he had the sad strip scoop and score, the 4 S's. That was when Pagano was like, "Don't let Quinn wreck the game," and then he scores a touchdown. He's like, so yeah, that one's in there. The Colts have bad luck against the Rams. I think like we tend to do some damage to them. I remember what was it, week 1 at the Coliseum a few years back. Tremaine Johnson had a pick 6, then LaMarcus Joyner had a pick 6. LaMarcus Joyner's pick 6 was like the funniest thing in the universe to me because he just like didn't stop running. He hit the end zone and just like turned and kept a full sprint. That was hilarious. Trying to think here. I would give Sean Hill in 2014 against the Broncos. I would give him a bit of a nod there because that was a hell of a day. That was the day that Rodney McLeod tried to murder Emmanuel Sanders. Correction, did murder Emmanuel Sanders. Let's think here. If anybody's got others. Ooh, 2018 Rams at Broncos. Todd Gurley, his highest, his single highest rushing yards in a single game day. Does that make sense? It was like a high of like 22 that day. It was all snowy all morning and stuff. That was a great day. So there's that one. Oh man, that's kind of tough. Of course, Tavon Austin gets the Colts. That's absolutely in there. We were talking about that one earlier in our text thread. Man, if anybody's got others, please let me know. Oh, Jared Goff against the Chiefs. That's a good one. Jared Goff against the Vikings, though. What was that? Week 4 Thursday Night Football a couple years ago. Was that 2000? Was that 2018? That was a hell of a day. That was one where you're like, holy crap. But yeah, Goff that day was obviously insane. But I would say Samson Ebukam that day too, scoring 2 touchdowns, man. Damn, that's so cool. Trying to put it in my brain here. Trying to think of more recent. Trying to think. Since we're talking wide receivers, please assure me my boy Van Jefferson is going to have a Pro Bowl season. Dude, I'm so pumped for Van Jefferson this year. I am so stoked for Van Jefferson. Van Jefferson might be the player on offense that I'm most excited for this season. Like, as far as like, because like we know Cup's going to be dope. We know Cam Akers should come in and be solid. Stafford's obviously Stafford. Like, I don't know. I don't know who else there would even be to talk about outside of Van friggin' Jefferson, man. I'm super pumped for him. I think he's going to have a great year. Let's see here. Rams fan base in general. Oh, okay. This ties back into that previous question, like how the Rams fan base in general, like, has it grown for you? Like, I guess I don't pay that much attention, but I would say being in Colorado, it is easy to see when your team is very popular. Because I definitely have seen more Rams fans these last 5 or so years than I have the entire time I've lived here, which is cool. I mean, whatever. I don't care how you find the Rams, just that you do eventually. You know, I'm not gonna sit here about name 5 players. You know, like I don't care. I don't care. I say the example all the time. I don't care if you can tell me Matthew Stafford's third daughter's middle name, or you only know our quarterback is number 9. All Rams fans are welcome here. We're all just rooting for the blue and gold. It doesn't matter. So, but as far as like the Rams fan base, it has grown, but that's going to happen when you're sick. You know, like when you're winning games and going to the playoffs every year, you're just going to be more popular. So, Flipper Anderson, that's a good throwing in a wide receiver there. Ramley is strong. Sat next to several Rams fans at the Green Bay game. I was next to one, so I wish I would have sat near you, dude, because it was not. It was not friendly or anything like that. They were great, but had some friendly banter going back and forth. There was only one Rams fan in front of me. It was this kid, and his parents were Packers fans. So at the end of the game, I gave him fist bumps and stuff like that, and told him to stay strong. SJ versus Lions, great game. That's like one of my all times right there, man. That play that he had where he's like coming out of the end zone. There's a few back in like where Rams were really far back. He had a catch that he broke a tackle, broke another tackle, gets a first down, and then he has another run up the middle where he just keeps the legs pumping, plows through a guy, and then that obviously smashes that ref later on, and then that touchdown run, you just able to wiggle it in for the touchdown to go up 17-10, which is where the game ended up. So it was absolutely incredible. I was watching Nick Scott play on the Rams last year. Dude, Nick Scott for sure, man. That's I'm bummed. I'm bummed that he's gone, man. But yeah, Johnny, you're gonna like Nick Scott out there. He's a great dude. We had so much fun watching him, and I met him. What was it? A couple years ago in the preseason game in Denver. He was super down to earth, great dude. He was super funny and stuff like that. We talked about Taylor Rapp, stuff like that. He's like, because I said something, I was like, I got a Rams podcast. He's like, do you talk trash about us? I was like, I would never talk trash about you, Nick Scott. And then I was like, I sometimes am a little harsh on Rapp. And then he was kind of like, my boy Rapp, like, yeah, all that. But it was fun. But yeah, Nick Scott is great. Great dude, great player. Nothing to hate about him. You know what? That's a good point, actually. As far as like the LA stuff, the way that the LA fan base is going to go, and anybody out there can feel free to chime in on this, but the way it's going to work, I think, for the LA fan base is kids going to the games. And we've only been there, this is going into like season 8 or something like that we've been out there. So it's still pretty early as far as that goes. So like once the Rams are like 30 years in, we're going to have a very strong fan base of kids who are like growing up, going to the games. And if they're winning, if they're better than the Chargers, that's going to be the main thing too, is just being better team than the Chargers or more interesting than the Chargers. And then because I feel like once the Chargers lease is up, I think they got another 17 years. I think that they've moved back, but that's obviously a future conversation. We'll see what happens. But and as long as we're more exciting than the Chargers, and kids are growing up watching them, seeing the stuff in Walmarts and all that stuff, man. Like that really is that's huge. And obviously the Rams do a very good job with community outreach, so I think that's going to play a big part of it too. Obviously, with like the Watts Rams and stuff like that, like all of them are going to be into it and stuff like that. So you just need time to end up like building that fan base up, and it does start with people growing up and watching it, so that when in 50 years these kids will be talking about, it's like, oh man, I remember when the Rams moved back to LA and I was 4 years old and my dad started taking me to games, and so like that's how it's going to be. So as far as like the fan base in LA and stuff like that, like we can talk about all we want to about like the fan base isn't that strong, stuff like that, but it's a baby fan base still, because when the Rams moved away, that 20-year gap in there where kids were not having a team, and if they wanted to be a California team, they were going to like the Niners and the Chargers and stuff like that, or even Dallas and stuff like that, because like the camp and stuff. It's like all of that stuff plays in, all of it does. And so when you can kind of just cement yourself in a place, and I don't think the Rams would ever move again. I know that the Rams are a team that have played in 3 different cities, 4 if you want to count like Anaheim and stuff like that. But I guess it's more than that. But if you want to count like Cleveland, LA, St. Louis, LA, I mean, I think that this is it. I think this is the last stop. I think they are the LA Rams from here on out. I would be very surprised if that ever changed. I think we eventually get the San Diego Chargers back eventually, but Chargers also have like zero incentive to move. They play in a 6 stadium for $1 a year. That is what they pay, $1 a year to play there. Peo, me too, man. And if you have any, like if anybody, not just you, Peo, but if anybody has any, you want to talk about a day that you just remember was super sick, feel free to pop on, man. There's so many, like I have random memories because like, I mean, I've watched every Rams play since 2010, and even before that, I was watching as much as I could. So I don't know. There's like, was it 2011? I think it was, where I see you here, Edwin. I'll get you in 1 second here, man. So it's like 2011, I think it was, where the Rams opened up the season with a Steven Jackson like 57-yard touchdown run against the Eagles. It was the very first very first offensive play of the season, and I was like, "Yo!" It's like, this is gonna be so sick. It's gonna be this year's gonna be amazing. But on that same play, he strained his hamstring, so he's out for the next like 4 weeks, and it was like, okay, damn it. So anyway. Got another guest popping in here. We'll continue running down the comments here after this, but longtime supporter and straight up homie of the show, it is Edwin. What up, man?
What's up, bro? Long time.
Dude, I know. Too long, man. Thanks for hopping on, man. How you been?
Of course. Good, man. Just wait for the Rams to come back.
Dude, you're a little bit choppy. I don't know if it's me or you.
You there?
Yeah. I don't know if it's me or you, but one of us is a little choppy, man. But you're looking good, man. Look at you all LA'd out, man. That's awesome.
Okay, I got my Rams tank top, the LA hat.
Dude, I love it, man. Where you at right now?
Yeah. I am sitting on the back porch because I just fed the kids, so they're good. And I'm like, hey, I need to go talk to Sheriff Joe for a little bit. So.
Oh yeah, man, that's awesome. Dude, what do you want to hit today, man? What do you want to talk about?
So we were listening to the stream. You guys were talking about some memories of the Rams, and something that came to mind for me. Do you remember that playoff game against the Dallas Cowboys in the Coliseum, where we brought in C.J. Henderson?
Yeah.
And him and Todd Gurley just went off. And oh my God.
They both had over 100, right? It was like 147 and 121 or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, but do you remember CJ went for a run and somehow he ended up sitting down on the Dallas Cowboys bench?
So I love that because it's that one developed into that meme where like when the Cowboys were playing the 49ers and it was like me at the party or whatever. It's like he's sitting with all the Cowboys.
Yeah. Dude, and I just thought I was like, that's like one of like my favorite memories because I was a huge Todd Gurley fan, man. Like he he was amazing, and it made me sad that we lost him, and he goes for that 1 year in Atlanta, and unfortunately didn't work out for him. But I still follow him on Instagram, and he seems to be happy. So
Yeah,
but
he seems to be doing well and stuff, man. Yeah, it's there's two girly moments, and one I'm actually forgetting the team. Maybe you can help me with this one, but there's one run that he had against the Bears where he hurdled over the safety. He kind of fell down afterwards, but like that one where that was, I think, the first moment where I was like, holy crap, this dude is so good. And then he also had that one, the flying one. What was that touchdown?
Oh my, I know. I know. Wasn't it against the Cardinals? I want to say it was against the Cardinals.
Man, I'm trying to think. My brain is saying Falcons. Maybe I'm just going.
Okay, it was one of the bird teams.
Dude, that was like one of the things where, like, seeing that, it was like, this guy's unreal, man, like unbelievable. And then, and then in Denver, like seeing him firsthand in 2018, just absolutely rip up that Broncos defense for over 200 on the ground, man. That was awesome. Redskins, that's right. It was against the Redskins. It wasn't.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. I think because the red, the red color kind of threw me off.
Yeah, dude. Because I remember that play is like, it felt so obvious that he was just going to go out of bounds. Like, it was like, oh, he's just like, that's it right there. And then he just like flies over and like, that's so cool.
No, it was
that Michael Vick touchdown. I don't know if you remember that one.
Yeah, but like I said, he was one of my favorite, like, just watching him and how he was able to bounce, and just nobody, like, when he was on, man, and he was just going for it. Like, good luck trying to stop him, you know what I mean? And it was just like, I look at that compared to what we have in the room now, and it's just like, man, I really miss Todd Gurley sometimes, man. I mean, I think Cam Akers is going to play well for us, but just that whole situation that happened in the beginning of last year where we were going to trade him and then we're not going to trade him, and like, I don't even really know what happened there, and it was just, I don't know, it's just kind of weird. But I'm really excited for Kyren Williams. I really hope he gets some time too. We saw him a little bit, didn't flash too much, but I'm really excited for this season. I know people don't like have us count like what we got, like 5 wins maybe that they're saying we're going to do. I think we're going to do way better than that. I mean, Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Aaron Donald, they all missed time last year, and our O-line was destroyed. Like, what did they expect? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And so now it's going to be healthier, and I honestly think we're gonna push. We're gonna go into the playoffs. We're gonna surprise some people.
I'm with you, man. I think that the Rams will surprise some people too, and I think that this is going to be a better year than, I guess, the average fan and also average media member kind of considers. Because I don't know. I feel good about it simply because of the injuries we had last year. We have a lot of those guys still coming back this year. Like, we don't know what if Logan Bruss and Steve Avila are just like the sickest guard combo of all time. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know yet. What if Jackson starts at left tackle and he's just incredible, and then we got Coleman Shelton at center, and then that offensive line there is incredible. And what if Cam Akers comes in and has a season where we're like, holy crap, who is this guy?
Right. Kind of like his rookie season.
Yeah, it would just stay healthy if we can just keep our wide receivers out there. What if Tutu pops this year? What if on the defensive side of the ball? Because the offense is where I have no questions. We know our offense is going to be good, right? Like, I feel confident in saying that because it's still Sean McVay, it's still Stafford, it's still Kupp, it's still Akers, and we still have really good players there. The defense is where we have the questions, but also at the same time, what if some of these guys pop? What if Ernest Jones is incredible? What if Durant and Kendrick and Tomlinson, what if these guys in the secondary are incredible, man? So we'll see.
Yeah. So off that, I think it was Kobe Durant. Did you see one of the Rams players, they got a new LA Ram tattoo? Did you happen to see that?
I did not. Where'd you see that?
Number 14. The Rams just posted a picture of some Rams players, and number 14, I think that's Durant, isn't it? Yeah. And he has like an LA Rams tattoo on his forearm.
Let me take a peek.
I was like, here. That is sick. I just saw it today. But I'm like, man.
Oh, you're right. Let's see here.
Yep.
Yep. Where's at? I don't know if that's coming through at all, but yeah. Yeah, check that out though. Yeah. I think I've seen that one before actually. And I was looking at this photo. You can't really see it here, but that top one there on Michael Hoyt, he's got the Super Bowl logo tattooed.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
But I'm with you on the whole defense thing. I'm actually surprised we haven't picked anybody up to help Aaron Donald, on edge. I mean, I think who we have now, they have the potential, but I'd rather have like a proven edge guy. You know what I mean?
That's fair. But at the same time, Dante Fowler and Leonard Floyd, both of those guys were kind of like, we'll see if they do well. And they both did awesome.
Well, of course, they got AD right there.
Exactly. So that's what I'm thinking, man. Daniel Hardy, bro. I'm team Daniel Hardy this year, man. That dude's looking absolutely jacked, and I'm super pumped to see what he does this year.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited.
He's so much bigger than last year.
Yeah, I'm just really excited to see like this whole new, because they were talking about how Sean McVay is really concentrating on the offense this year. And so I'm really curious to see if he changes things up, if he implements because I don't know, to me, I don't know how it felt for you, but last season, I felt like Sean McVay, if things weren't working for him, how he wanted him to work, he would become so predictable. Like, oh yeah, he's going to run this play. And I would even call it and he would just do it. And I'm like, if I'm calling it from my house, of course the other coach is going to see that, you know?
So I was saying that too. It's like, if I can see it in Colorado with a Modelo in my hand, I can guarantee that defensive coordinator knows what's coming.
Yeah, I'm like, it would be so frustrating sometimes because I love Sean McVay, but sometimes I feel like he gets into his own head. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there was too many times where it was like, oh, this is a wide receiver screen, boom, screen, like, and then of course, then sometimes that worked out in the worst way possible, where those are getting picked off. It's like the first time we were really seeing those major mistakes coming from being predictable. We went away from a lot of the jet sweeps. I think we had to, just with the injuries, but yeah, last season was kind of like there's a moment there where it was like, oh, this is a lost year. Like, this just isn't it,
Yeah. But I mean, I really did enjoy that Broncos game, where we just destroyed them. That was amazing.
If you have no idea how much fun I had that day. I watched that game in Denver because I was at my sister's house for Christmas. And then my license plates say LA Rams. I've obviously got a bunch of stuff on my car, stuff like that. And so I'm driving home that night, which was after the game. And obviously it wasn't here, it was in LA, but driving home, and I'm driving down I-25, which their stadium is right off of I-25. And just the most proud I've ever been driving, like, for something that I didn't do. I was just like,
right.
I didn't do this. I didn't put up a 50 burger on the home team, but my boys did. And that was like, I was just driving by. I slowed down a little bit to let everybody know, like, hey, yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm the same way, especially towards Niner and Cowboy fans, especially because they talk the most. I don't know for you what you've experienced, but I feel like they're the ones that just chirp the most. And I just I really hope we beat the Niners at least once this year.
We have to, man. We have to. Yeah, I got a Cowboys fan that calls me at work, and he'll I answer the phone, and the first things out of his words, the first words out of his mouth are "Rams suck." I'm like, dude, get out of here.
Oh man. You should be like, well, when was the last time you guys won a championship? How long has it been?
Yeah, I am fully on board with if you were alive to see him win it, doesn't really count. Like, I don't know, man. Like, you can't be a Packers fan was bragging about Super Bowl I to me out in Green Bay, and it was like that. No, you don't get to brag about that.
No, especially you weren't even there. I mean, yeah, it's part of your history. We get it. Congratulations. But what have you done recently?
Exactly. None of us are talking about the Cleveland Rams championship. All right.
Right.
So,
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. We should start bringing those up. Hey,
we should.
We got these too.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, if we want to start adding up championships in that setting, then we've got 4. All right, so let's up
hang up those banners.
Yeah, it's absolutely good. By the way, somebody said that to me. Somebody said that the LA Rams don't acknowledge their St. Louis championship, and it was like,
yeah,
I posted the photo, and it was like, you mean this banner that's up at SoFi Stadium? They don't. What are you talking about?
I heard that with the Super Bowl ring, because you know how they usually have the however many Lombardi trophies on the ring?
Yeah.
Well, the Rams put 2 palm trees. Yeah, they put the 2 palm trees that represent the 2 Super Bowls.
That's why this logo exists, is the 2 palms based off the Super Bowl ring. But yeah,
I think it was
they went with palms.
I think it was Mike Florio that said something like that. He's like, "Oh, they don't even show that they got 2 Super Bowls." And I'm like, "Do you not listen to what the Rams media said? Like, that's what, the 2 palm trees are for, to represent both Super Bowls." But
that guy says a lot of stuff, man.
It really does.
He says a lot of things, man.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
All right, man. I'm gonna continue moving through here, man. But thank you so much for hopping on. Feel free to jump on anytime I'm live, man. Go ahead and hit the link and feel free to hop on with me. All right.
Hell yeah, man. Go Rams. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, dude. Talk to you soon.
See ya.
That was Edwin, longtime supporter. It's cool to chat with him, man. I would get a lot of times to just actually have like a real conversation with everybody. So that's pretty cool. It's awesome to like when I'm out in LA to hang out with people and stuff like that. But when I'm not, traveling, it's cool to be able to have conversations with people. Anybody else want to hop on? Feel free. I'm just gonna start going through more comments here. But absolutely, feel free to jump on with me. Let's talk about something. If you have something you want to talk about too, or if I've said something you disagree with, let me know your side of it. Silly Fun Guy, best name on YouTube. Are you stoked for Steve Avila? Absolutely. But can we stop calling him Avila? He said his name in his very first video for the Rams, and he said Avila. All right? So I'm just going to throw that out there. He said his name, so we can say his name, what it actually is supposed to be. So, yeah, but actually, yes, I absolutely am. I think there's something to be said about the way that his play style is compared to some of the guys that we've spent early picks on along the offensive line before. And I'm not necessarily talking about Logan Bruss because we still have no idea who Logan Bruss is, unfortunately. So from that perspective, I'm pumped to see him, man. He's also a big body, and he's got versatility as well. So I don't know if he's necessarily going to start the season. I would like to see that simply because this year feels like such an evaluation year anyway. You might as well play him, see what we got in him, and then keep it moving. But I think that with his versatility, man, his attitude, I think there's no reason not to be excited about Steve and what he could potentially do this year. Oh, dude, good call. Kurt Warner versus the Bengals at 3 touchdowns in 99. I was pretty young in this time still, so I was not paying like as in-depth attention. I was only 8 that season, so it was not I don't think I was able to wrap my brain around like when the Rams were that sick and like winning the Super Bowl. I don't think I really understood what was going on or like the gravity of that game and what that meant for the franchise. You know what I mean? Ooh, Danny Amendola against the Cardinals. Do you remember what year that was? Because I remember that game. Danny had a few games, though, where he was like, this guy's incredible. He had a couple against the Seahawks. He had a game against the Redskins, too. I don't remember what year that was. That was what they were called at the time. Don't cancel me. So in Lakewood, California, I can tell you the Rams' future regarding fan base is solid. It'll be all right. I like to think that it's going to just take some time, AJ, and you being out there and anybody else that's out there would have definitely a better understanding than me as far as like the local fan base goes. But for me, my perspective out here in Colorado, the Rams are getting more popular. And I think a lot of it is just like moving away from the St. Louis days where even the colors were darker, the stadium was darker, like everything about it was just the years were just darker in general. So I think that coming out of that, you go to sunny California, you brighten up you flash up everything. You get a flashy new stadium, flashy new uniforms, flashy new coach, flashy new ring on them fingers. So yeah, it's just an exciting time, and I think for young fans just getting into the sport, I think it makes total sense that that the excitement would kind of follow that situation. You're getting a phone call from Sean McVay asking for your opinion on who should start on the offensive line. Who do you pick? I say, all right, Sean, this is the deal, man. Noteboom he was not that good at left tackle. Even before he got hurt, he wasn't as good at left tackle. So that's got to be Jackson or Arcuri, maybe. You pick between those two, and then we'll go Avila, and then we'll go Coleman Shelton in the center, and then give me Logan Bruss. Let me see what Logan Bruss has, and then obviously Big Rob at right tackle. I'm just gonna just put the phone down. I'm just gonna leave it. Do it that will, Sean. But that would be my the Tijuana Chargers. Dude. Chargers moving to Mexico would make so much sense, actually. Interesting. I'm just going to leave it at that. That's interesting. Harold Jackson versus the Cowboys, 4 touchdowns. Dude, you'd have to tell me what year that was because I definitely don't recall that game. That's really cool, though. The best fuck attack. Oh, dude. See, that's the thing. Somebody said something about, what team was it? Oh man, I don't even remember what team it was. Somebody posted that it was like this team has the best Mount Rushmore of running backs, no question. And it was like, all right, like hold on now. It's like clearly that's the Rams though, right? It's like the Rams may have never had a Hall of Fame tight end, but running backs, the Rams get right. The Rams have had so many sick running backs from like even just drafting Bettis. I know he didn't stay very long and all that stuff, but then yeah, you're right. Like Dickerson, Falk to Jackson. Having both of them on the same roster one time is insane. And then pretty quickly after that, you go through the string of what was it, like Trey Mason, Zach Stacy, Daryl Richardson, but then end up getting Todd Gurley coming in. So Cam Akers might be that guy. We'll see what happens. Or maybe Zach Evans is that guy. I actually have been hearing a lot from him or about him from different platforms. But not consistently. So I don't know what it means exactly on like what Zach Evans might be, but I don't anticipate that we'll see him very much this year. That's just myself. Dude, you were there? Damn. The only thing that I don't like about that day was our uniform combo because the unitard look with the same color pants and jersey I think is terrible. Yeah. Screenplay, gain of 1. Third and long bubble screen. Yep, that's so funny. Oh man, Mike Florio is a hater. Why is Mike Florio such a hater though? It's like because I don't dislike Florio. He says some things you're like, all right, and he cusses a little too much on Twitter for me. And I like to party, and I work at a rock station and stuff. But like sometimes I don't know. I guess in a public setting, I like. In a public forum like that, it's like it's kind of I don't know, tone it down. That's just my own stuff, I guess. Maybe it's just a personal preference. Maybe other people don't care, but like you're not going to see me get all super crazy here on Ram Showcase. There's not going to be like a Ram Showcase after dark or something where I just get all nuts. Which guy, Chris? Who are you buying drinks for at SoFi? Let's go, man. Let's get hammered at SoFi again. It was so funny, man, because there was I had a great day. SoFi. It's been too long now, man. I need to get back there so bad, Chris. So bad. We just got that connection, Colorado Springs to was it Fort Wayne Airport? It's $99 one way, dude. $99 one way. So you will catch Sheriff Joe Bags out there for sure. Just got to put some dollar bills together in the right forums to get game ticket. Oh yeah, dude. Absolutely. Edwin's a good dude, man. Edwin's great. Yeah. So when we're all out there, Edwin got to get out there, man. I want to go to the Seahawks, man, because the 49ers game that's too early for me. Yeah, week 2. That's quick, man. That's quick. That's tough to put dollars together for that, man. So I'm looking at Seattle actually, man. November. That's the one I want to get to, man, for sure. I want to be out there again. I want to be out there so bad. Every time I see photos or anything of SoFi Stadium, I'm like, oh, I miss you. Get all sentimental about SoFi Stadium. I've been there twice now. I was at the very first game they let fans in for. That was the preseason game against the Chargers. Me and my dad flew out for that one. and then the Jags game. That was fun too. That was so much fun, man. That food had that Korean barbecue, bro. Dude, changed my life. I'll tell you that much. I sat there at halftime just locked in on my food, man. It was so good. That was a great time. I miss LA so much. I love it out there, man. I love it. I know that like being like a Colorado native, like I don't know, people are always like California, bleh. Like I loved it. I think it's so much fun. Miss Venice Beach. I like Venice Beach. That's a fun spot. Except for all the people trying to sell you stuff. I don't want to buy your stuff. I just want to feel the vibes, man. Korean barbecue is an underdog to SoFi. Can we talk about this for a second? Holy crap. So, like, Chris has the best seats in the universe, and I don't know if I've got a photo uploaded here. Let me try to see if I can show one. So let me go here real fast. Let me just try to save my own photo. I took this photo because I was chilling with Chris at this. It's gonna take me a second, but I was chilling up there at because it's right above the tunnel, first row above the Rams tunnel. So I'm seeing players run out, stuff like that, which is unbelievable stuff. It's a little difficult to see on the other side, but I had an incredible video from like when they're close to you. It's unreal, man. And then, so it's like the Van Jefferson touchdown against the Jags. Chris took an unbelievable video of like the play. The play is going on. It's like zooms out. You see me like losing my mind again because that's just what I do when I'm out there. Yeah, it was great stuff. Let me see. Where'd this photo go? I don't know where I put that. Let's see. No, didn't put there. Figure out where I'm saving stuff, huh? Where the heck did it go? 1 second. We'll figure this out. It's just there. That doesn't make any sense. Oh, it's still trying to download. My computer's just going super slow. All right. Oh, there we go. Cancel this one. Cancel and add this bad boy right here. All right, so here I have to take myself down for a second, but I'm going to show you. This is the photo that I took. You can see down there in the corner, there's the melon heads. I don't know how to do this. I'm not as good at this as I want to be. So in this corner here, you can see the melon, which is like Lance and stuff like that. Incredible stuff. Super cool. But I took that photo after the Rams beat the Jags. It was just like from the seat, man. It was great times, man. And hanging out with Chris is always a great time. I've gotten a few chances to hang with Chris in Denver. 2018, got to do some cool hangs that day too. We got to check out Palmer Park, dude. I remember that day. That interview stuff got corrupted, but yeah, it was awesome, man. Yeah, definitely need to get out there, man. Want to hang out with you again, Chris, because that's just good times, man. The goodest of times. So yeah, that's a damn good day, man. Damn good day. Take me back, dude. Take me back to LA and SoFi, man. It's the best place on earth. And I can almost feel like it's like a little bit lame because like I watch Pat McAfee a lot, and their experience at SoFi for the national championship game was like kind of lame because of the rain and stuff like that. And like, he kind of like talks about like all the flaws that SoFi has, and it's like, dude, you kind of missed out. I think like you kind of just hit on a bad day. I really think that, and he didn't even mention that for the WrestleMania or whatever that he was out there for. That like he didn't even mention that SoFi was like incredible that day because I didn't hear any complaints that day. So yeah, I think that's a underrated part of it. Silly Fun Guy again, best name on YouTube. If the Rams could hypothetically get any one player, who would who would help them the most this year? Kelce? Kelce's a great answer, man, for sure. I hate to say this answer because, it'll make sense after I say the name. This is a player that I absolutely love and despise all at the same time, but that's George Kittle. If he was a Ram, I would be over the moon, man, but he's not, so I hope he sucks. That's all. As far as player, man, if I had to pick one player to add to this year to have the biggest impact, my brain's going to edge rusher, man. I might take Aiden Hutchinson from Detroit. I think that's probably who I'd go with. Or I'd just go with a super sick corner, Jalen Ramsey. Maybe Jalen Ramsey on this defense. Could you imagine Jalen Ramsey on this defense? Stupid. Yeah, my brain goes to just a really awesome shutdown corner or an edge rusher like Hutchinson. Dude, Diablo. Dude, absolutely, man. Dude, AJ, I'll tell you this, man, before you tip out. It was so funny, man. You were you were a big part of my day that day because I was walking through, so I'm kind of sitting there and it's I'm not going to get too crazy today. I just want to enjoy myself and stuff like that. And then I saw you, man, and you were like, dude, we got to do a shot. And I was like, done. It was right away. So I was I'm not going to get too crazy right now. And it was 10:30 in the morning. You're like, we're doing a shot. And it was absolutely we are. And so it was so much fun, man. So yeah, absolutely 100% Pink Lot, dude. Pink Lot in it all day because Pink Lot's where the party's at, and that's where my people are for sure, dude. So thanks for hanging out, man. Yeah, go enjoy Diablo, man. My homies used to play that growing up. I was never a big video game guy. I was a sports game guy for a while. I liked to play Madden and college football. That's about it. And then when Madden started getting super lame and it's just it felt more animation and stuff like that, I kind of just fell away from it. Just didn't really like it anymore. Felt too animation based, honestly. That was all it was. It was anything happened, you could feel what was going to happen already, and I don't like that. So, dude, Edwin, good point, man. Excited to see what Stetson can do this preseason. Stetson is in a cool spot for this preseason for sure, man, because he's obviously going to play most of it, if not all of it. Who did we just sign? Brett Rippon. So Rippon might get some reps in there, but ultimately I think we see a lot of Steady B, man, Stet Benatar taking those reps for sure. So I'm excited to see what he does out there. You see the fish he caught today, dude? Let's see if I can find it. I know that showing photos from my phone into my screen here is not as sick as it could be, but where did that go? I thought the Rams posted it. What the heck? What is this? Oh. Who posted that? Let me check. Let me do a search for Stet. Did you hear what Geno Smith had to say? That was kind of interesting. I kind of liked it, actually. Who posted that if it wasn't him? And it wasn't the Rams. I don't know. He caught a big old fish. Super anticlimactic story there. I'm here all week. Yeah, he caught a huge fish, dude. The sucker was legit, I don't know how big it was, but it was massive, dude. I don't know where I even saw it now. It was damn, bro. I'm a Colorado dude too, so I'm outdoors often and stuff. Not right now, of course. In fact, I sunburn and then I peel, which is super cool. Dude, missing Whitworth for sure, man. He's a big wit, man. He was such a brick wall over there. Him going against is there another Hutchinson? A lot of Hutches around these parts. Dude, those looks he was getting. Oh, Hendrickson maybe. Who was that Bengals pass rusher? That he was walking back to the sideline, just eyeing him down, dude. It was so cool. Big Wit is the man. I wanted to be our offensive line coach. Really bad, actually. I think that'd be awesome. Even just his presence there, man. I feel like even just his presence would be super helpful. And obviously, he's seen so many things. I'm sure he's got wisdom to pass along, man. So I don't know. Witt being part of, and I actually, I almost, and maybe if Johnny's still here, maybe that's a good question for him actually, because like I think Witt is kind of got those like kind of Kurt Warner vibes, but like opposite from our perspective, because like Kurt Warner really claims Cardinals days. He doesn't really claim his Rams days. And now we've seen where the same thing for Andrew Whitworth is he's like really, he's like, I am a Rams left tackle. Like, and I'm not saying he's like blowing off his Bengals time at all or anything like that, but like he very much is like a Rams player. Like, and he spent a lot of time with the Bengals. So I guess that was kind of surprising to me. But also, I mean, he ended up playing a decent number of years for the Rams. So I guess it makes sense. But I wonder if Johnny would have opinions on that of like, do you see Whitworth as like a Bengals or a Rams left tackle? Like, because I feel like in my brain always Whitworth was just like the Bengals left tackle for so long. And then he came to the Rams. It like he became what we had hoped Jake Long would develop into or become. But when Jake Long came over to the Rams, he was such a bummer. So kind of worked out. That's why I think that's literally why I had so many question marks about Whitworth coming over. It was like, oh, he's kind of getting older and stuff like that. It's like, is he really going to be that good? Because my brain was going to Jake Long and getting him from Miami that one year, and he just sucked. And he was like, and then like the whole reports were like, well, he's not that good on turf. It's like, why the hell do we even bring him here? It's like half of our games are going to be on turf. Like, which means that probably more than half of our games are going to be on turf. We're looking at the entire league. So why is he even here then? If he sucks on turf, why'd we sign him? Like, that was so frustrating, but whatever. Dude, Kroenke is the friggin' man, and I'm making a push. I want everybody in the world to know that I want Stan Kroenke to buy the Rockies because the Rockies are such a bummer. I mean, I will say this at least because Angels fans can say what they want about that one game, but the Rockies still won that series, and that's terrible news for you guys. That's terrible news. When you outscore in a series, you outscore a team by 20 points and still lose the series. You gotta spread those runs out, guys. Yeah, thin that up a little bit. But yeah, what was it, 25-1? That is such a Rocky score. It's not even funny. It's pretty funny, actually. Rams House just sent me a text. Yeah, he did. His brother, yes. So Rams House's brother, who's a Bengals fan, joined my live stream before Rams House joined my live stream. What are you doing, Rams House? In fairness, though, me and Rams House has just made videos before. Because me and him are going to do the new Stafford Cup. I don't know if you saw that video. I don't even know if it's still out. YouTube kind of hurt my feelings. I'll be honest. YouTube kind of hurt my feelings, so I was like pulling everything down. I'm just gonna text now. We come to the boring part of the show apparently, but yeah, it's I don't remember what I was even saying. That's cool. Oh yeah, we did the video of the YouTube thing. So yeah, it was just one of those bummer days where I don't know, demonetized me and then didn't tell me why. I tried to appeal. They denied the appeal immediately. Like I submitted the appeal and they were like right away like, nope, failed. So that's not what we wanted to hear. It was like, all right, well, how about you guys are jerks. I was just gonna look up something. Oh yeah. Let's talk about this real fast. If anybody has any input, feel free to chime in. Florio, speaking of Mike Florio, mentioned that the Rams and 49ers might be going back and forth on potentially trying to grab Kirk Cousins next year. Here's why that is absolute bogus. It's not going to happen, all right? First of all, who knows how long Stafford's going to play? Maybe he's still here next year. The 49ers going after Kirk Cousins, honestly, makes total sense next year because we still don't know who Brock Purdy is. Sure, he did a good job or whatever in certain settings. We still don't know. We have no idea who he is. We have no idea who Trey Lance is. And we know who Sam Darnold is, and we know that he's a bag of bummers. So with that being said, I think that the 49ers are totally reasonable as far as like a target for Kirk Cousins. But the LA Rams, I don't feel like are even not even worthy of mentioning in this conversation for Kirk Cousins. I feel like that's a joke in itself. There's so many other people that I feel like the Rams would target before that, including Kyler Murray. And I know that might sound absurd, but I absolutely think that Kyler Murray has a better chance of being a Ram next year than Kirk Cousins does. I don't think Kirk Cousins even touches this, because part of the reason too is the fact that that's so funny. I'm not even gonna tell you what happened. But part of the reason too is like Kirk Cousins is a money guy, and he goes with just like whoever will pay him the most, and he just like he gets money situations time and time again, and that's not going to happen again. It's either not going to happen at all, or he's going to have to accept it. Like he's been ruining teams for a while now and just taking way more than he deserves, and then he's gonna like have that realization of like, okay, I can go under a low contract. I've done pretty well for myself, you know. So either way, I see no reason or pathway where Kirk Cousins would even be a conversation for the Los Angeles Rams. So Mike Florio saying that kind of came out of left field for me, and it was kind of surprising. Of like, what? Like I don't think that would even be close to a thing. So. Again, by the way, same schedule as last time. I do have my buddy coming pretty soon to our other podcast. I talk too damn much. I think I said that last time. Yeah, so he'll be here in about 10 minutes or so. So whenever he does, I'll bounce out of here. But Kirk Cousins, I just don't think that that's a reasonable thing at all. And like I said, I don't think Kyler Murray's coming to the Rams or anything like that. Don't get me wrong here. I mean, like Sports Illustrated is for sure already typing an article of like, could Kyler Murray be a Los Angeles Rams? Well, Sheriff Joe Bags thinks so, because they're a joke of a website right now. But that kind of also ties into what I was talking about earlier of like media in general is in such a weird spot right now. And I don't know if there's like it. I mean, I realize that like the whole business is to get clicks and stuff like that, but like is not part of the business also to like be a reliable source of information? Is it just about getting clicks, or is it about being a creator or a writer or anything like that, where people can go to for information that they feel is accurate? Because that is not the case right now. When you look at like Turf Show Times and like, there's a couple others that I absolutely despise right now, but some of them are just such a joke of publications that like it's like, what are you doing out here? Is it all about clicks, or are you actually trying to be a reliable source of information for people? And I think that's where Ram Showcase is in an interesting space in general, because I don't cover as much, I don't put out as much content as I probably should. But also I try not to put out bogus content. I try not to put out anything where people will be like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Like, I at least like it to be relevant and reasonable. And those are the two things that always come to my head when I'm posting anything. Is it relevant and is it reasonable? And outside of that, then I kind of look for of like, okay, does this help people? Does this, am I just posting this information to cause a stir in the fan base? And if that's the case, don't even post it. Don't even worry about it, because who cares? It's like we kind of commented it, like me, Rams House, and Payo Time have a thread that we have conversations in, and like we have some of those conversations in there of like sometimes somebody will post something and we're like, why would you even include this information? That is so irrelevant. Like, why say that Stetson Bennett is signing when he's signing his rookie contract? That's all the information we need, is that, hey, Georgia rookie quarterback for the Rams, Stetson Bennett signing his contract. It's a 4-year deal. Instead, the post is 25-year-old Stetson Bennett. It's like, that's irrelevant information in there. You're just trying to stir up conversation. You're trying to stir up mess within the fan base. So, I mean, like Edwin says it here, the media is becoming Skip Bayless. People want hot takes. People want obnoxious things to get people to engagements and clicks and stuff like that is all the rage. And I understand that. I understand that that's how you make the money in this industry and in this field. But is there no part of you that wants to just be a reliable source for people? Like, I guess that's where my brain is at, is like, I want to know that if you're coming on to Rams Showcase, like what I'm talking about is definitely riddled with some Sheriff Joe Bags opinions here, but I'm also not going off the rails here. I'm not saying like Rams going to the Super Bowl, we're winning 17 games. It's like, I'm not doing it. I don't know why that's the voice that I go with there. That's the rogue Sheriff Joe Bags, apparently. Whenever I'm going rogue, that'll be the voice I use. But it's like I don't know. I want the things that I talk about and the things that I post about and the things that I actually discuss and release as content to be relevant. And I think the only thing that I want to get better at is citing, because I think we're all kind of bad at that right now. I think all the Rams fan people, all the Rams media creators are bad at citing, myself included. I'm absolutely including myself. It's like we're not saying who said this, we're not saying who said that. So we just gotta. I think we all got to be better at that, about talking about where we're getting the information from. Most of it, honestly, is just me digging into stuff and coming up with my own opinions and storylines about things. I don't know how many other people really kind of try to make their own storylines or whether they piggyback others, but either way, I just wanted to get that out there, just because I just feel like it's so weird right now. The Rams media field is very odd right now. I feel like it's in a very much a state of flux right now, and honestly, I'm just trying to take advantage of that. We'll see what happens. Go back here a little bit. I would love if we were able to get Chase Young. Oh, Chase Young, that's a good answer for that. He'd be great for us. No Kirk. Rather have Goff than Kirk. I would absolutely rather have Goff than Kirk. 100%. I'm with you there, man. Dude, Chase Young is that's a good answer, actually. Good answer. And honestly, I don't think that's outside of the realm of possibilities for next year, because I don't think he stays in Washington. And with the amount of money that the Rams have that they can spend next year, on top of the fact that, like, who knows who's going to pop this year. Maybe two guys pop. Maybe we get a rookie and Daniel Hardy to absolutely crush it at edge rusher this year, and we don't need to move. We don't need to bring in anybody. But at the same time, maybe bringing in Chase Young next year is something that the Rams can and are willing to do. Where did you go to college, Chase Young? Was he at Penn State? I don't remember. College has been hard for me to follow. I work on Saturdays now. I'm off Sunday, Monday. So it is a lot more difficult for me to follow college football than it has been in the past, which I don't love, but I also have really only paid attention to Texas A&M football and Air Force, really. This year I'll probably watch a little bit more Colorado. I'm sure they'll get more television coverage than they have in the past, just because of Deion Sanders showing up. So that'll be kind of cool. I've never disliked Colorado, the Buffaloes. That's kind of fun, but. All right, y'all. Actually, my buddy's going to be here in a few minutes, and I'm just going to kind of get some stuff prepared for our podcast that we'll be doing here shortly. That's the wrong button. Let's go here. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get that set up here. But thanks for hanging. Absolutely, thanks for hanging. If you would like to support the show in any way, the best way to do that would be to snag a T-shirt on ramshowcase.com, is where you can snag all that stuff at. So, that's the way to do it. That is the way. If you want to support the show, if not, understand. I hate you, but I get it. But these are the shirts. One of the shirts you can score. These ones here, modeled off the Super Bowl ring. Oh, this one's actually Rams House's. This is Rams House's Super Bowl ring, because it's Whitworth. Where's mine at? Here's mine. See the palms? See? Yeah, look at that. Got myself a Stafford ring. Every Rams fan, by the way, should have a Super Bowl ring. This could be the last time we win one in our lifetime. Get a Super Bowl ring. Everybody should have it. Everybody, all right? Thank you. Thanks for hanging out. Also, thank you. Thanks for hanging out. Guys, this is every week, by the way. We'll do a Monday night live stream. So keep on hanging out every single week. This will go all the way through the season. There will be some weird scheduling things with the week 3 game on Monday Night Football, of course. But maybe Johnny can hop on for that as well. But, hey, thank you guys, everybody. Edwin, thanks for hopping on. Johnny, thanks for hopping on. Gary, thanks for being here, man. Silly Fun Guy, GP Shadow. AJ, thanks for hanging out. Chris, thank you so much for hanging out, man. It's obviously always an awesome time talking Rams football, man. I love you guys, and see you next week for sure. Be sure to check out ramshowcase.com. I do got some stuff coming up here soon that I'll be posting there. So keep your eyeballs on that. Again, if you want to support the show in any way, snag a t-shirt there. Might also put some other stuff up there. If you have any suggestions, anything you'd like to see up there, feel free to drop that as well. And I can kind of talk to AJ and see what we can maybe get going. So other than that, guys, thank you so much for hanging out. It's been an awesome time. We'll be back next week for sure. Check out the Ram Showcase Twitter and Facebook page for any updates on timing. I'll try to figure that out as soon as I can, get the timing kind of scheduled out. I try to get that up as soon as I possibly can for you. So thanks for hanging out again, and I'm going to peace on out of here. So, well, what am I doing? This one. That's the right button. Peace.